Welcome back, everybody, to the SilmFilm Script Discussion Season 2, Episode 10, Part 6. Yep. And so yeah, we're almost into we're in the climax, aren't we? We're in Act 4.
I think we finally made it.
Okay, so we get Maedhros and Finrod.
Fingon.
Oh my god, Fingon.
I'm sorry.
No, why are you sorry?
Tolkien games. I'm sorry there are so many stupid Finns.
It's not your fault that my brain can't keep track of all these people.
But no, it's not. But it's not your brain's fault either. I don't know of anyone who can talk about these characters without doing that.
Yeah. I think that if there were a show on this and that there were actual faces attached to these people and they were very different looking people, that might help significantly.
Right.
But it still wouldn't fix the problem. Everyone would still be going,
that said,
stupid names that start with F. F them.
That said, when my wife watched the Lord of the Rings movies, she had a lot of trouble differentiating between Aragorn and Boromir.
Right, because they both have dark hair.
Now, part of that is because she grew up in Asia, where there are not a lot of white people, and we all look alike, apparently.
Right.
Yes, I've heard that.
Especially when we all have shoulder-length hair and goatees.
Yes.
So
she's not the only one who has that comment about Boromir and Aragorn.
Yeah.
Lots of people mixed them up because they were the two human men who had similar complexions and hairstyles. It was like they were pretty much interchangeable characters for a little bit.
In the story, they both end up being from the same place. And so there's also that aspect where you're like, oh, they're the same place. Your brain...
Right, because there was a big association between Aragorn and Gondor in the films. Yeah. Which in the book, it was there, but it was very, very clear that he wasn't from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the book.
And that's not as clear in the movies.
Yes.
Right. But I mean, that was the whole reason to make Legolas blonde, is to have him look very different from the two men.
Yes. Well, and he's traditionally been depicted as blonde before, though. I mean, that's not exactly new.
Not in artwork of him shooting down the Nazgul. He's usually dark-haired in that scene.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know he was blonde in the Bakshi film.
He was. His father is blonde in The Hobbit. The King of Mirkwood has blonde hair.
Yeah. Okay. So
Legolas.
He's not that well described.
Unless you're frog elves and those that. I did not like this.
I did not even as a child, because I actually saw bits of that movie when I was a little kid. I didn't remember any of it, and so when I read The Hobbit, it was still new to me. But I remember seeing that, and even having no understanding of the story, realizing that wait, there were elves before that looked human, and now the elves are purple and weird.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing, and I think it was the same order. Like, I saw the Rankin Bass adaptations before I'd read The Hobbit, or at least understood the story at all. And so I was like, wait, what? What is this crap?
Yeah.
Okay, so Finwe has his meeting, right? Feanor shows up fashionably late. And Fingolfin is standing near the throne, right near the throne. And he's actually irritated. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to show that Feanor has withdrawn that he hasn't showed the Silmarils anymore. So he should not be wearing them.
Yeah. Right.
When he gives his speech, he doesn't have it. And maybe during the conversation where he's reacting to Finway's summons that he can, that maybe Nerdanel or somebody can ask, it could bring it up, and he could say say that he's put them away for safekeeping. He's not bringing them out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So that solves that problem. So
Fingolfin is talking to Finwe about everything that's wrong with Feanor.
Right. I mean, he hasn't even bothered to show up. You summoned him, and he's not here.
Because he thinks he's so important, doesn't need to listen to you, and he doesn't, and he hides his Silmarillion. See them.
Right. He's inciting the people
in the city as if he's king. He's speaking for you to the people.
Right.
Saying all these things about the Valar. Are you supporting that? Fingolfin is going to push hard here.
Yeah.
Right.
And
then he pauses for a moment and says, "He's standing right behind me, isn't he?"
No, but
no.
I feel like we should do the dramatic equivalent of that, which is like, instead of like the comedic, like, "Oh, he's right behind me," isn't he? It's more like when he says, "And he's not even here," the camera pans to Feanor. I was like, which F elf are we talking about? Which F and elf are we talking about?
That's the title of this episode, is Which F and Elf?
Yes, but right when he says, he isn't even here. He didn't even see fit to show up for this. And then it pans to the entryway, and Feanor comes in right then. Like, I feel like that would be cool.
And I don't necessarily want Feanor to. I mean, he's decked out.
Yes.
He's in full war regalia. I don't necessarily want him to draw the sword right away. I would kind of like him to kind of almost like saunter in.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, I knew that this is what was going to happen.
Yeah.
How did I know that I would come in and I would find you talking to my father and poisoning him against, and blah 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 blah. He actually has the whole speech there.
Yeah.
He just lifted practically right from the text.
Yeah.
And him drawing the sword. Now, when he draws the sword, it isn't a direct threat to Fingolfin yet. He draws the sword.
Right.
He draws the sword, and he tells him to get out.
Yeah.
And maybe because it says that he bows to Finwe and walks out without even looking at him.
Yes. Would you like to hear the passage?
I just read it, but please go on. Story time.
But even as Fingolfin spoke, Feanor strode into the chamber, and he was fully armed, his high helm upon his head, and at his side a mighty sword. "So it is, even as I guessed," he said. "My half-brother would be before me with my father, in this as in all other matters." Fingolfin, he drew his sword, crying, "Get thee gone, and take thy due place." Fingolfin bowed before Finwe, and without word or glance to Feanor, he went from the chamber. But Feanor followed him, and at the door of the king's house he stayed him, and the point of his bright sword he set against Fingolfin's breast. "See, half-brother," he said, "this is sharper than my tongue. Try but once more to usurp my place in the love of my father, and maybe it will rid the Noldor of one who seeks to be the master of thralls." These words were heard by many, for the house of Finwe was in the great square beneath the Minden, but again Fingolfin made no answer, and passing through the throng in silence, he went to seek Finarfin, his brother.
Yeah.
Feanor is the worst big brother ever.
Worse even than me. So
I don't have any big brothers.
Yeah, I'm the eldest of my group.
Wow.
I am the big brother.
So we have three eldest here. That's interesting. So we get all of that. Okay. I'm wondering if Finwe gives Fingolfin some sort of gesture, like like almost to say, like, not necessarily say, but to kind of be like, all right, well, go ahead, I'll work this out. Like if there's some kind of glance exchanged between them.
Fingolfin should look at Finwe, but not at Feanor.
Right. Well, it would be interesting if Fingolfin hears him crying, talking as he comes in, and doesn't turn around and look at him. I don't know how you could get away with that. I think he has to at least turn around and look at him when he comes in.
Yeah. Fingolfin's power in this scene is his ability to ignore Feanor.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all he does. He continually ignores him.
Yes.
And doesn't give him any attention, time of day, credence, anything. Yeah. So that's what he's going to do the whole way through. I don't know how we want to do it.
Well, what we could do is have him turn around and look at him when he comes in, and then immediately turn around and look at Finwe. And during like cuts from Feanor while he's speaking, we could look at Finwe looking back and forth between the two of them, and Fingolfin looking right at Finwe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Finway's reaction is what Fingolfin's interested in. He doesn't care what nonsense Feanor is saying. He really wants to see what their father is going to do in reaction. Like, that's what he's here for. And
maybe Finwe kind of like puts a hand up to Fingolfin, kind of like it's because in Finway's mind, there's no way that Feanor's actually going to use this sword on anybody.
Right, like he's just drawn a sword, which is a big deal. You're not supposed to draw a sword in front of the king, but the point of someone's going to die here. Finwe is like, all right, we just need to get these people calmed down enough and seated so we can sit down and talk about this. Like, Finwe is still thinking. Right. But Feanor's well past.
Right. So Fingolfin walks out, and Feanor glares at Finwe and spins around and goes after him. Do we want to have him physically grab Fingolfin to push him up against the wall?
He should block his exit in some way. He can use his sword to do that.
Right. Well, what he could do is he could do one of those ones where he gets all he has to do is get the sword out in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And Fingolfin, for all intents and purposes, he can't move forward without cutting himself. And so Feanor circles around to face him head on at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
He makes his statement about the sword being sharper than your tongue. Right? Fingolfin in the eye, and then turns around and walks past him without a word.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the text says that Fingolfin goes to find Finarfin after this.
Yes.
Are we showing that meeting between them?
I don't think we. I would,
because otherwise we don't know what Fingolfin's going to do. Like, he just walked away from having a sword pointed at him without. He hasn't said a word since Feanor showed up.
Right. Well, here's the thing: is if we do that, it kind of brings.
I know.
It does weird things to the tension. Instead of letting the tension slide out as we go into the tag, it's doing this weird thing where it's dropping the tension down a little bit, but we're still there, but it's lower than it was up here.
Okay, well, the other thing we were going to show at the end was Melkor fleeing the city.
Yes. Yes.
So we could cut from Fingolfin leaving, so you don't know what Fingolfin's going to do or where he's going or what's going on.
Right.
cut to Melkor randomly.
Yeah.
And then come back to Fingolfin and Finarfin at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
And then go to Galadriel. Then
Right,
back
as
to Frame.
Yeah, and then Frame.
Okay. So
Speaking of Frame,
yeah.
what the heck is going on in the Frame?
Yeah, we have nothing going on in the Frame at the moment.
This is too far. We never got here in the Frame.
Right. So what would we? I mean, because the like clearly there's some major conflict going on now in the main story.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything that can match that in the Frame.
No. Which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, Arwen can't really get in a fight with her brothers that is anywhere near this level of.
Right. There's no there's nothing that's going to be there. So the question is, what is it that we're really like? What are we trying to say here that we're going to mirror in the Frame?
One issue that should be clear throughout the episode is that everyone thinks they're right. Everyone who's speaking the whole time thinks they're right about everything.
Yes.
And so that certainty of being right
Mm-hmm.
can make you a little bit blind to understanding someone else's point of view. Like something with that could be helpful. And I don't know if we've had an episode where Arwen has figured out that different elves have different choices, and that's what's right for them.
Right.
And it's okay that they don't all make the same choice for the same reason. You know, like something along those lines of, if she's been arguing like, well, this is what you should do, or this is where Elven home is, or this is the right thing. This might be a chance to be like, well, that's right for you.
Right. Yeah. Could we spend some time with Arwen? Because it's possible that Arwen doesn't really know why Galadriel left.
Right.
You know, so
that little tag piece should be news to Arwen.
Right. She doesn't know that it was even before the darkening of Valinor. Like Valinor was at its height, and she wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So, could we have Arwen asking Galadriel, like, you know, I know that you want to return to Valinor, but at some point you left.
But why'd you leave in the first place if you just want to go back?
Right. I mean, was the darkening of, oh no, we don't want to say the darkening of Valinor, do we?
No. But we can have her ask the question of, so what made you decide to leave? Like, what was, if you want to go back now, clearly you liked it well enough there, so why leave it all?
Right.
She can say that without thinking, well, of course it's because you lost the trees. Like, she doesn't have to say that.
Right. And it could come out that Galadriel thought that, what seemed right at the time. What seems right to you at any given time is not always
right.
The whole picture.
Right.
And Galadriel can certainly say, like, we didn't know what we had.
Right.
It's only in losing it that I've learned the value of what we had. And obviously Galadriel's thinking about the darkening of the trees, but we know Galadriel is sitting in Middle-earth speaking this, so she has lost Valinor and all of its...
Yeah. No matter what, she's lost Valinor.
Right. So that message of you only know what you have after it's gone, and people's opinions change over time, and like just all that kind of stuff,
right,
I think makes sense.
Yeah.
As a wrap up for this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Fingolfin might have hated some of what was going on. Like, Fingolfin and Feanor have spent the whole episode fighting with each other.
Right.
But they're both about to lose their father forever.
Yes.
And neither of them knows that.
Yeah.
And that's more important to them than fighting with each other ever was.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that cements, at least appears to cement their relationship after the darkening of Valinor.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they're shared grief. But it's just, at this point, they don't know that. So I think Galadriel can speak to that theme without saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else in this episode that we've neglected to have?
Well, we saved Yanwei's arrival for the next episode, but I think we did that on purpose.
We might have. It just fits. It just wraps up so neatly without that. It just seems right, you know. I'm gonna try next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to float this to the the execs.
We'll see how it goes.
And we'll see how that goes, because I'm going to be fighting for having the banishment of Feanor take place like it does in the book in episode 11.
Where the Valar's intentions are pretty much clear to everyone from the beginning.
Well,
from
they'll be clear to the audience, but to the elves, like, you caused this problem in the first place.
Yeah.
This is entirely your fault.
Yeah.
You know, and you're banishing people instead of letting us handle it.
Oh, the elves can still have a legitimate complaint, and I think that the whole point of showing Feanor's anti-Valar rhetoric before he got banished.
Yes.
Taken it that far before they've really done anything terribly bad against him.
Yes.
So banishing him clearly isn't going to change his mind.
Nope.
Yeah. And then, so he's already there. The rest of the Noldor aren't yet, but as the Valar continue to make some choices over the next few episodes, a good chunk of the Noldor come to Feanor's point of view about the Valar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're gonna, like, including Fingolfin.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, Fingolfin is gonna, from this point, be like, yeah, the Valar are really they're really not treating us like pals right now.
And even Finarfin is going to agree to go to Middle Earth. He's going to change his mind after the kinslaying.
Yeah. Right.
But before the kinslaying, he's still like, yep, that's the right thing to do.
Right. So, the worst case scenario, if I can't win that fight, then we can always put it on my back in here. It's not that hard to work that in.
Right.
Right. It would just be, as you see Fingolfin walk away, you see Yanwei show up.
Which I hate that. That. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right. We'll get. All right.
So I think one thing that's interesting, a theme that maybe goes in the frame, I'm not sure, but like, I find it fascinating that basically Morgoth or Melkor in this case, but Morgoth's temptation to the elves is basically, you should go to Middle Earth, which is the thing that, I mean, they really should never have been brought to Valinor. Like, he's working with something that is kind of with their nature, right? Like, they're supposed to be in Middle Earth. The fact that they're in Valinor was a mistake.
Yeah. But that's why we've got Ulmo's grand plan.
Yes.
Olwe build ships in Aqualande and Círdan build ships in Middle Earth, so that the two of them can start a shipping industry where they go back and forth across the ocean. Like,
yes,
Ulmo's plan would have fixed that wound.
Right. It would have
alleviated in a much better way. But
without bloodshed.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is that Melkor's desire.
When Melkor set the plan in motion, everyone died.
He's working with something that should have been. He's working to accomplish something, or something. He's working with the desire that's good.
Right. Well, that's
corrupting that desire.
Right. Well, what's happening here is very similar to what we did in season 1,
Yes.
where he was against the move to Valinor to begin with, which is right and correct. But the reason he was against the move to Valinor was because he wanted to be king over everything.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's much harder from Valinor.
Right. He actually was trying to get everybody. Yeah, he was actually trying to get everybody to go to Autumno. I did that in that episode too. To Autumno with him.
Yeah.
Right. Which was just as obvious.
Right. Yeah. So so what's happening is, once again, Manwë is making bad decisions for good reasons, whereas Melkor is making good decisions for bad reasons.
For bad reasons. Yeah.
And it's all intertwining. However, in the end, it's all in the music. So,
yes, indeed.
If you're watching this on YouTube Live, have a great night. We're almost done. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, definitely like and share the videos if you like and want to share them. And if you haven't yet, you should definitely subscribe. Check out the links below for information on Mythgard Institute and Academy, Signum University, and Mythmoot 4, taking place June 1st through the 4th of next year. Very, very exciting stuff there. Also, down below, you can find links to Philip Menzies' channel. He does a lot of music for this project. And for Bree Melvin's Twitch channel. I should probably also start including her Tumblr page in there, where you can see a lot of the art that she's been creating for the Silmarillion film project. A lot of really cool stuff there. So, with all that,